सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद द्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jayo Radha Radha Manda, Jayo Radha Radha Madhava, Jai God Nitai, God Nitai, God Nitai, Jayo God, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada, Nitai God Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bol, Nitai God Hari Bol, Bol Premanande Hari Bol, Jagat Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Rameshwara Prabhu. How are you, Rameshwara Prabhu?
I'm okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. उनका राधिका माता जी का भी ऑपरेशन ठीक हो गया. So it just got ended. She just came out now. So hopefully she'll get discharged tomorrow or day after. Okay, Prabhu. So we start? Okay. So Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Mancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. Yes, so show the result. I did.
Let me refresh. So first is
How many participated?
We have 11 participants.
And how many we have here? 15. Okay. As usually, Atul Prabhu, Anupa Mataji, Anshi Mataji, Saurabh Bhatla Prabhu, all 100%. Pinky Mataji, Ingiraj Das, Meenakshi Radha Mataji, then Prabhupada Kripa Sangha. The whole Sangha is participating. Vijay Mataji, Jeet Mataji. Okay. मेरे लिए भी लर्निंग थी वो गर्भोदक्षाय विष्णु एंड
Correct.
कारणोदक्षाय विष्णु. Is it about the mini pralay? Was it about the?
Yes, like one day.
Oh, one day. Oh, okay. Okay.
So for another 12, correct.
12 hours.
Correct. 4.32 billion years. Not those 311 trillion.
ध्यान से पढ़नी चाहिए क्विज. That is a lesson. Yes. Okay, Prabhu. So we begin from where we stopped yesterday. This is a wonderful chapter. और अब उसके आगे हम लोग पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं कि गाड़ी अभी है. So we are reading chapter 6. So chapter 6 means conversation between Narad and Vyasdev. So that is a chapter we are reading. And और जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया था कि हाउ कि इसमें क्रम कैसे है सारा का सारा, है ना. तो पहले हमने देखा नारद जी के चैप्टर 5 में नारद जी इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑन श्रीमद् भागवतम फॉर व्यासदेव, एंड देन देयर इज अ कन्वर्सेशन बिटवीन टू, what happened and what was the result. We are going to read, and then I think we have just few verses left, and then the next chapter is going to begin. So today we are reading from 35. 35. Yamadi bhiryoga pathe kamaloba hato muhu Mukund sevaya yadvat tatha atma adhana shamyati. Yamadhibhi, by the process of practicing self-restraint, yoga pathe, by the system of yoga, mystic bodily power to attain the godly stage. Kama, desires for sense satisfaction. Lobha, lust for satisfaction of the senses. Hatha, curbed. Muhu, always. Mukund, the personality of Godhead. Sevaya, by the service of. Yadvat, as it is. Tatha, like that. Atma, the soul. Adha, for all practical purposes. Na, does not. Shamyati, be satisfied. Translation and prepared by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is true that by practicing restraint of the senses by the yoga system, one can get relief from the disturbances of desire and lust. Okay, but this is not sufficient to give satisfaction to the soul. For this satisfaction is derived from devotional service to the personality of Godhead. Correct. So by yoga, one can get a temporary relief from lobha or kama. It is possible to get temporary relief from lobha and kama, but the thing is, Atma will not get complete satisfaction. That Atma will not get. ये तो बहुत सारे श्लोकों में आता है, इसका पढ़ते हैं और इसके एग्जाम्पल भी हैं, जैसे that Muni, विश्वामित्र मुनि, उनका एग्जाम्पल आता है किस तरह से. We see that the Muni, he was performing that Ashtanga yoga from last 60,000 years, and just by hearing the sound of the payal of a heavenly society girl, then his meditation broke. Like this. So he may have restrained the senses, but because the senses were not used in the service of the Lord, then he was not completely satisfied. What do you understand from that pastime? Is that he is in yoga, he is meditating, he is so-called Atmaram or getting there, and then he hears the payal of a society girl or a woman's payal, and his meditation broke. What does it mean? It means he had some other tinge of a desire left, so which fructified. He was fine for 60,000 years. He was fine, but just in few minutes, there was some subconscious desire. Obviously, in his case, it's not a gross desire, but subconsciously somewhere that desire was there, and that fructified. And the result for his spiritual life was a disaster. Purport. Yoga aims at controlling the senses. So main purpose of Ashtanga yoga is to control senses. Rather, Gyan yoga also, yes, understanding is more, but also controlling the senses. This is the primary goal of all yogas. Because till the time the senses are going into the object of the senses, till that time, that inner self introspection doesn't come. By practice of mystic process of bodily exercise in sitting, thinking, feeling, willing, concentrating, meditating, and at last being merged into transcendence, one can control the senses. The senses are considered like venomous serpents, and the yoga system is just to control them. On the other hand, Narad Muni recommends another method for controlling the senses in the transcendental, loving service of Mukund, the personality of Godhead. By his experience, he says that devotional service to the Lord is more effective and practical than the system of artificially controlling the senses. So why he's saying it is artificial system of controlling? Because senses need engagement. So just by trying to restrain them is unnatural to them. Likewise. So that's why he's saying it's a system of artificially controlling, because it's not their natural state. Their natural state is to be engaged in the service. So either on service of the senses or service of the Lord. In the service of the Lord Mukund, the senses are transcendently engaged. Thus, there is no chance of being engaged in sense satisfaction. The senses want some engagement. To check them artificially is no check at all, because as soon there is some opportunity for enjoyment, the serpent-like senses will certainly take advantage of it. There are many such instances in history, just like Vishwamitra Muni's falling a victim to the beauty of Menaka. But Thakur Haridas was allured at midnight by the well-dressed Maya, and still she could not induce that great devotee into her trap. तो ये उसका एग्जाम्पल दोनों का कंपैरिजन बता रहे हैं. I think Bhagavad Gita या Bhagavatam में Prabhupada also gives in one of the purports example between Lord Shiva and Haridas Thakur also. So here he's giving the example of Vishwamitra Muni and Haridas Thakur. Because Haridas Thakur was also engaged in Bhakti Yoga. Vishwamitra Muni was doing Ashtanga Yoga. So his meditation broke. But when that Maya Devi herself came as a most beautiful, woman, a prostitute, then, he was not agitated. Rather, he purified her. Right? So this is the comparison to show the potency of following the Bhakti Yoga process, which is to engage our senses in the service of the Lord. Which means I want to sing, so I can sing Hare Krishna tunes. There are different ones, soft one, middle ones, high-pitched ones, dhinchak ones. I can sing. I want to see beautiful form. So I can visualize. I can look at the different forms of our favorite deities. I can look at the deity form of even Prabhupada. Our Guru Maharaj, I want to smell something. So we can, smell the flowers, which have been offered to the Lord. We can pick few from the altar and smell it. So in this many ways, it's an easier and practical way of engaging our senses rather than restraining them, which is a artificial way. Let's read ahead. The whole idea is that without devotional service of the Lord, neither the yoga system nor dry philosophical speculation, so which means Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga, can ever become successful. Pure devotional service of the Lord, without being tinged with fruity work, mystic yoga, or speculative philosophy, is the foremost procedure to attain self-realization. Anyavilashta shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. So unless one comes to the pure devotional service, then the chances of fall down are there even for the practitioner of Bhakti Yoga also. Because this is just not for, of course, for Jnana Yogis and Ashtanga Yoga it is there, but even for Bhakti Yogas, we have to be aware that the risk of fall down always remain, and fall down practically every day. So is that because we are not performing pure devotional service, and it has a tinge of uh, uh, fruity work, because I am doing so much work because I want some particular result. So that taint, the bhakti, and the result is that there is always slippery surface. After every half an hour, 2 hours, there is a slippery surface on which I slip. Such pure devotional service is transcendental in nature, and the system of yoga and jnana are subordinate to such a process. When the transcendental devotional service is mixed with subordinate process, it is no longer transcendental, but is called mixed devotional service. So Gyan Mishrit, or Karma Mishrit, like this. So which means it is devotion, but it is mixed with karma or Gyan. Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam, will gradually develop all these different systems of transcendental realization in the next text. Sarvam tad idam akhyatam yad prishto aham tvayagraha janma karma rahasyam me bhavatas chatma toshanam. Okay. If anybody wants to read, yes, Ronnie, go ahead. I didn't see your hand.
Sarvam, all. Tat, that. Idam, akhyatam, described. Yat, whatever. Prishta, asked by. Aham, me. Tvaya, by you. Anagha. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you are audible.
Anagha, without any sense. Janma, birth. Karma, activities. Rahasyam, mysteries. Me, mine. Bhavata, your. Cha, and Atma, self. Satisfaction. O Vyasadeva, you are freed from all sins. Thus, I have explained my birth and activities for self-realization as you asked. All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also. The process of devotional activities from the beginning to the stage of transcendence is all duly explained to satisfy the inquiries of Vyasadeva. Narad has explained how the seeds of devotional service were sown by transcendental association and how they gradually developed by hearing the sages. The result of such hearing is detachment from worldliness, so much so that even a small boy could receive the death news of his mother, who was his only caretaker, as the blessing of God.
So ये हमने पढ़ा था, sorry, ये क्या हो गया? ये हमने पढ़ा था कि कैसे जब when his mother dies, he took it as a mercy of the Lord. He didn't feel sad. Of course, the mother dies, he feels sad. But thing is that he kept on chewing about it, and he took it up that it was that the only person with whom Naraji had affection was his mother. Now, look at that. He's a small boy, nobody, no relative, no father, nothing. And only relative or family member is mother, who loves him very much. And she dies. And a small boy took it as a benediction of the Lord. So we can understand that what kind of a purity of heart he has, and what kind of realization he has, that he can see in such a disaster of a small boy's life, he can see benediction of the Lord. Yes, Prabhu.
And at once he took the opportunity to search out the Lord. A sincere urge for having an interview with the Lord was also granted him. All that was anyone to not be.
Your voice is breaking, Prabhu. We can't hear.
Yeah, because my internet is weak.
Oh.
Maybe somebody can read. You can continue with this one, and then the next one somebody else can read. My internet is weak.
Okay. कहाँ पर हैं आप? एक बार उसको highlight करिए.
Yes, from here.
And at once he took up. Okay. And at once, नहीं यहाँ किसी और ने भी hand raise किया हुआ?
Meena Mataji is there.
Yes, you can start reading from there.
Opportunity to search out the Lord, a sincere urge for having an eye. He also explained how the execution of pure transcendental service one can get rid of the fruitive action of accumulated work, and how he transformed his material body into a spiritual one. The spiritual body is alone able to enter into the spiritual realm of the Lord. And no one but a pure devotee is eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. All the mysteries of transcendental realization are duly experienced by Narad Muni himself, and therefore, by hearing such an authority, one can have some idea the results idea of the results of devotional life, which are hardly dilated in the original text of Vedas. In the Vedas, the uh, Upanishads, there are only indirect hints to all this. Nothing is directly explained there, and therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is the is the mature fruit of all the Vedic trees and literatures.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yes, Meenakshi Radha Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, can you read the Sanskrit shloka?
Yes, of course. Take minute. So this is 1637. Suta uvacha evam sambhasya bhagavan narado vasvi sutam amantarya vinamranyam yayau yadrichiko muni. Yes, Mat.
Synonyms. Sutaha. Sutta Goswami Uvachaha said, Evam, thus, Sambhayasya, addressing Bhagavan, transcendental powerful, Naradaha, Narad Muni, Vasavi, named Vasavi Satyavati, Sutam, son, Amritaya, inviting, Veenam, instrument, Ranyam, vibrating, Yayu, went, Yadrikshaha, wherever willing, Munaha, the sage. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Sutta Goswami said, thus addressing Vyasadeva, Sri Narad Muni took leave of him and vibrating on his veena instrument, and he left to wonder at his free will. Purport. Every living being is anxious for a full freedom because that is the transcendental nature, and this freedom is obtained only through the transcendental service of the Lord. Illusioned by the external energy, everyone thinks that he is free, but actually he is bound by the laws of nature. A conditioned soul cannot freely move from one place to another, even on this earth, and what to speak of one planet to another. But a full-fledged, free soul, like a Narada, always engaged in chanting the Lord's glory, is free to move not only on earth, but also in any part of universe, as well as in any part of the spiritual sky. We can just imagine the extent and unlimitedness of his freedom, which is as good as that of a supreme Lord. Sorry. There is no reason or obligation for his traveling. No one can stop him from his free movement. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotion service is also free. It may or may not develop a particular person, even after understanding all details formulas. Similarly, the association of a devotee is also free. One may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavor. Therefore, in all spheres or devotion service, freedom is a main pivot. Without freedom, there is no execution of devotion service. The freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that the devotee become dependent in every respect. To surrender unto the Lord, therefore, through the transparent medium of a spiritual master is to obtain a complete freedom of life.
This is a amazing purport. His purport is on the word, which comes in the Sanskrit here, yad ichhiko, matlab ichha ho, matlab where, jahan, yad ichhika, matlab whatever I desire, whatever my ichha, whatever I willing, I am ready to do. So on the free will, Prabhupada is explaining what is the meaning of getting freedom. So he is explaining that how the amazing life of Narad Muni, how he was bound, little boy, mother dies, he has the darshan of the Lord says can't, and then after that, in the next life, he has got a spiritual body, and he is free to wander anywhere. So people think that after coming to Bhakti Yoga, my freedom will be curtailed. I have to follow so many rules and regulation, which is correct, because one is in the sadhana bhakti. So sadhana bhakti means that one has to follow rules and regulation, whether I like it or not, I have to follow it. But the potency of following the sadhana bhakti process, Vedi bhakti, the Vedi bhakti is that gradually by engaging our senses in the service of the Lord, we get spiritualized, we develop a taste, and gradually we do it not because I have taken a vow to my Guru Maharaj that I will chant 60 rounds. I want to chant. Not that everybody says read Prabhupada books, so I'm reading. I like reading his books. I like to sing kirtan. I like to serve Thakurji, whether it is the altar or is the temple. So the taste, the ruchi develops without anybody trying to force us. So this is the potency of following, Pancharatrik, not Pancharatrik, but the Vedic, that I follow the rules and regulation way. And through following the rules and regulation way, I gradually develop a taste because I am getting spiritualized or purified through internally I am getting purified. And we see from the life of Narad Muni that we think that after, if I become a devotee, I will be completely subordinate to my senior and this and that and what will happen. But the uniqueness is if we can become a good servant, then it opens many doors for us. In the immediate future, it opens many doors to us to become completely independent. And Prabhupada is saying, Narad ji se zyada independent kaun ho sakta hai? Who can not even move in all the 14 planetary system, but he can also go beyond Brahmajyoti and to the spiritual world. So this is the uniqueness of the end result of a bhakti yoga. And और हम वैसे भी देखते हैं कि जब जो विष्णु दूत हैं, they have as good form as Vishnu. They keep the Shankh, Chakra, Padma, Gada. They keep same astra as Lord. They are completely independent. They go anywhere they want. So we see it is just not Narad ji, okay, he is exception, but we see Vishnu Dutas are completely independent. They know the desire of the Lord. They know what to do, what not to do, like this. So this is so one can imagine if we are aiming for Golok Vrindavan, then what sort of independence awaits us? But to do that independence, that Prabhupada writes in the last line, to surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of spiritual master is to attain complete freedom of life. So that cannot be done whimsically. Oh, I can't think, no, I have become independent. I have become, mature in my devotional. No, it has to be done by through a transparent spiritual master, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, whosoever, we are surrendered to. And through his medium, we will get to understand and we'll find the freedom increases. इसका एक मटेरियल एग्जांपल भी आप देख सकते हैं कि a CEO is more free than a PM. Qualitatively same, quantitatively different. So a PM has less freedom. He cannot do this. He has to come back in time. This CEO is free. He can come late. He can go early. He has no problem. Why? Because he is more mature. He understands, like this. So though qualitatively same, both are humans, both are Mame Vansho, Jiva Bhuta, Dosh, both are of Krishna. But it's just a material example. They have different independence. In a company hierarchy also, we see there is a different level of independence given. So if this is what happens materially, so we can consider what will happen spiritually. Okay. So last verse, I'll just read the Sanskrit. Aho dev rishir dhanyoyam yat kirtim sharn yat kim sharng dhanvana gayan madhyam idam tantrya ramanti aturam jagat. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vaishmati, you want to read?
Yes,
Last verse 38.
yes, Prabhuji. Aho, all glories to Devrishi, the sage of a god. Dhanya, all success. I am Yat, one who Kirtan, glories. Sangaha Dhanvanaha, of the personality of Godhead. Gayam, singing. Madhyan, taking pleasure in. Idam, this. Tantraya, by the means of instrument. Ramyatihi, and lived. Otram, distress. Jagat word. Translation. All glories and the success to the Srila Narad Muni, because he glorifies the activities of the personality of Godhead, and so doing he himself take pleasure and also enlives all the distressed souls of the universe. Purport. Shri Narad Muni plays on his instrument to glorify the transcendental activities of the Lord and to give relief to all miserable living entities of the universe. No one is happy here within the universe, and what is felt as a happiness is Maya's illusion. The illusionary energy of Lord is so strong that even the hog who lives on a filthy stool feels happy. No one can be truly happy within the material world. Srila Narad Muni, in order to enlighten the miserable inhabitants, wander everywhere. His mission is to get them back home, back to Godhead. That is the mission of all genius devotees of the Lord, following the footsteps of the great sage.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we can see now here is a one is the same Gayan Madhyan Idam Tantraya. So he is singing by taking pleasure. It enlivens himself. Ramyati Aturam. So Ramyati. So what he's doing? Gayan Madhyan Idam Tantra. So by he's singing, but he's enlivens, or he's taking pleasure in that singing itself. So thing is that we may preach to 1,000 people through 1,000 ways, but if we ourselves don't have a taste, then we can't give to others. So Naradji has so much taste. So wherever he goes, whether it's a Bahelia or a Rakshas or a kid, everybody feels enlivened through it because he himself has so much taste for it. But when we tell, we try, we scratch our head. I've told this person 2 + 2 = 4. Why he can't understand? Of course, other person's sanskar is with birth. But thing is that we ourselves need to have the same taste. What we have, we can only give that much. If I have 2 grams of sugar, I can't give 1 kilo of sugar. So like this, whatever is in my path, I can only give that. So the good way, that is why Prabhupada that does is that he said so many times, what will you do with your 2 bit of preaching? You distribute my books. So that is a potency. If we are mature and we don't want to become a Pied Piper and where devotees are just running after us, Prabhuji or Mataji, is that to put them at the lotus feet of Prabhupada and let them get, rather than getting, a contaminated source, whatever good our intention may be, but they get through the main source and they get that rasa and they feel enlivened. So that is a part. We should always understand this part, that it is better to put them through the source rather than trying to become a leader or a guru, and where tomorrow we'll have problems, or whatever we have understood, misunderstood, they will also do. So this is a point which I just wanted to share, that we should be very, very careful. And for all of us, we see all the Guru Varg, everybody's reading Prabhupada lecture, their Prabhupada books, they are reading. What is it? So it is best to get them, new people also attached to Prabhupada, hear his lectures, read his books, read the letters, everything. And, and then that is a very mature way of cultivating devotees. Hare Krishna. अथर्व प्रभु की जय हो. ये छुप छुप के देख रहा है कि इसकी स्क्रीनशॉट है. हरे कृष्ण. So thank you so much. No, thank you. देखो बड़े लोग हाथ नहीं खड़ा करते हैं, और they feel, I don't know what they feel, but somehow they feel something, they don't come forward. And he, young Atharv, he raises his hand every day. Wonderful. Thank you. So we'll just end the session now. Pancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Question.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I didn't see any question. Who has raised that?
I have a question.
आप तो आत्मा राम प्रभु जी, आपके पास कहाँ से क्वेश्चन आ गए?
नहीं प्रभु जी, कैसे बातें कर रहे हो?
बताइए क्या क्वेश्चन है?
Prabhu, here in 37, Prabhupada said about in the purport that the association of devotees is also free, and the one may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavor. So
क्या लिखा लाइन? एक मिनट, let me see. I have to see the context. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotional service is also free. Free means free will, that nobody can force you. It may or may not develop in a particular person even after he undergoes all the detailed formulas. Correct. Because just by following sadhana bhakti, you cannot develop bhava bhakti unless the mood is right. Similarly, the association of the devotees is also free, which means free in the sense like it is available. One may be fortunate to have it, one may not have it even after thousands of endeavors. Therefore, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is a main pivot. This is the question?
Yes, Prabhu, but I didn't understand about even after endeavoring, how it won't be like.
Which means it depends upon the kripa of the Madhyamadikari. Because just because it is free doesn't mean I'll get it. So it is the kripa of a Madhyamadikari who is going to preach, or a Uttamadikari who has come to the level of Madhyamadikari. So if he comes, then only I cannot force that I'll get association. I cannot force anything. So we must understand that whatever association we get, we are fortunate to get. So that is by the mercy of the Vaishnavas only. It is not due to my endeavor. My endeavor, I cannot force. It is due to their free will. They will come or not come. Like that.
And in the next case, Prabhu, that the freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that the devotee becomes dependent in every respect. What is the meaning of that? In every respect, like
in every respect means that you still have to do your endeavor. The two-finger principle, that your effort and Lord's. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm dependent upon Lord. This is not happening. I am dependent." Not like that. So it is our endeavor which attracts the mercy of the Lord. So and there also our independent will is always there. Like we see the example of Jai Vijay also, so they are dead, they are properly stated, still they have the independent will then to stop. I mean, of course, there are other subtle things there, but the independent will of a jiva is always there with him. Because it is always there with Krishna, we are his ansha. So our free will is always there. Is that okay?
yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.